Hi, I'm Jenna Ortega.
Hi, I'm Jenna Ortega.
Before she was the scream queen of Gen Z, before the world knew her as Wednesday Addams with that cold stare and haunting dance moves, Jenna Ortega was just another face in the crowd, quiet, driven, and underestimated. But how did a child actress from a working-class Latino family not only break into the industry's tightest circles but also challenge everything Hollywood thought it knew about typecasting? Was it raw talent, careful planning, or something more calculated beneath the surface? Because there's a side to Jenna's story that's not often told. A side involving career-defining rejections, near burnouts, hidden health battles, and a transformation that shocked even her biggest fans. So buckle up. Because what you're about to hear isn't just another Hollywood success story, it's a story of identity, survival, and reinvention in an industry that chews people up and spits them out. But before we unlock the hidden chapters of Jenna Ortega's rise, take a second, just like she did before every audition, to pause and prepare. Hit that like button if you're ready to dive deep. Share this video with someone who still thinks fame is just about luck. And subscribe, because the truth behind today's stars is darker, stranger, and more powerful than fiction. Let's begin. Jenna Marie Ortega was born on September 27, 2002, in Coachella Valley, California, into a large Mexican and Puerto Rican American family. She was the fourth of 6 children, and from a young age, something was different about her. While other kids played outside, Jenna would rehearse lines from Disney Channel shows, mimicking characters with eerie precision. At just 6 years old, she begged her mother to find her an agent. Most moms would laugh that off. But not Natalie Ortega. She saw something burning in Jenna's eyes, something serious. But getting into acting wasn't easy. Their family had no Hollywood connections. No studio exec uncles or secret managers. Just her mom, hustling between jobs as a nurse, and Jenna, uploading audition tapes in their living room. Her first break? A Colgate toothpaste commercial. It might sound small, but for Jenna, it was everything. And soon after, small roles followed: CSI New York, Days of Our Lives, and the Marvel film Iron Man 3. But even then, something strange began to happen. Despite her growing resume, Jenna often heard a particular phrase in casting rooms. "You're too ethnic." She was either too Latina or not Latina enough. Casting directors didn't know where to place her. She wasn't the blonde cheerleader stereotype, nor the exotic sidekick they often created for diversity points. And that's when Jenna made a dangerous decision for a young actress. She stopped trying to fit in. She began saying no. No to roles that tokenized her. No to scripts that reduced her to a stereotype. It was bold. Maybe even reckless. But this quiet rebellion started shifting her trajectory. She landed a leading role in Stuck in the Middle, a Disney Channel show that celebrated her heritage rather than hiding it. It was a turning point, but not in the way you might think. Behind the scenes, Jenna was growing frustrated. The roles were still light, comedic, and safe. But she was craving something darker, something real. She started training. Reading psychology books. Studying trauma narratives. She was preparing for something Hollywood wasn't even offering her yet. But then came the opportunity that would test her limits and change her forever. When Netflix announced Wednesday, a dark, Tim Burton-led spin-off of the Addams Family, the world buzzed. But Jenna? She almost didn't audition. Casting directors weren't sure she could carry such a cold, stoic character. Jenna had never done horror at this level, and certainly not led a global series. But Jenna had a plan. For her audition, she deliberately avoided smiling for 3 days. She studied old Addams Family clips and then ignored them. She didn't want to mimic Wednesday, she wanted to become her. And during the final callback, something eerie happened. Tim Burton reportedly turned to the producers and said, "She is Wednesday." Still, filming wasn't easy. The role was physically and emotionally draining. Jenna had to learn fencing, cello, archery, even speak German for one scene. But that wasn't the hardest part. Jenna later admitted she battled imposter syndrome daily. She'd rewrite scenes the night before shoots. Sometimes she clashed with writers. She wanted authenticity, even if it meant ruffling feathers. And when Wednesday dropped, the world changed overnight. That viral goth dance to Goo Goo Muck wasn't choreographed by professionals. Jenna choreographed it herself while battling COVID. Yes. While sick, dizzy, and exhausted, she designed one of the most iconic modern TV moments. And yet, she didn't celebrate. She later revealed how much pressure she was under, how the expectations around her image started to suffocate her. People wanted her to be Wednesday off-screen, monotone, mysterious, emotionless. But Jenna? She was expressive, political, funny, and she hated the box she was being put in again. Interviews started going viral, not for the answers, but for how blunt she was. Jenna refused to promote roles she didn't believe in. She publicly criticized her own dialogue in Wednesday. Some called her difficult. Others called her brave. By 2023, Jenna was everywhere: Scream 6, Wednesday Season 2, Saturday Night Live. She was on magazine covers. Paparazzi trailed her every move. But underneath the stardom, she was still Jenna. A girl who watched horror movies to fall asleep. Who hated social media. Who read scripts obsessively and asked, why does this character matter? And then came the rumors: Jenna leaving Wednesday, Jenna feuding with co-stars, Jenna collapsing on set. Some were exaggerated, others had a sliver of truth. She was exhausted. Not just physically, but emotionally. Fame, as she once said, wasn't real. But the pressure? That definitely was. She took a short hiatus, choosing to focus on indie projects, mental health, and activism. In one podcast, she quietly admitted, "I almost walked away from acting last year." Jenna's story is more than a timeline of roles, it's a challenge to the system. She's one of the few young actresses who openly questions her scripts, fights against typecasting, and demands respect in boardrooms filled with men twice her age. In an industry obsessed with perfection, she's refreshingly imperfect, making mistakes, being too honest, too outspoken, too real. She represents a shift in Hollywood, where Latina girls can be the lead, the hero, the villain, and everything in between. She's not here to be liked. She's here to be remembered. So next time you see a viral dance, a haunting scream scene, or a moody red carpet look, ask yourself, is Jenna Ortega really just a Hollywood star? Or is she something Hollywood never expected, its most unlikely rebel? Because behind that Wednesday stare is a girl who rewrote her fate. Not with charm, but with fire. Because behind that Wednesday stare is a girl who rewrote her fate. Not with charm, but with fire. And if that story gripped you like a Netflix binge at midnight, tap the like button, because every click fuels stories that deserve to be told. Share this with someone who thinks they know Hollywood until they meet Jenna. And don't forget to subscribe, because what we're uncovering next might just shock you even more. The screen fades to black. But the story? It's just beginning.